Welcome back to the BudgetBlissPrints channel. Today we're going to walk you through how to use our simple budget tracker spreadsheet. Whether you're saving for something special or tackling debt, this spreadsheet is designed to make budgeting effortless and give you the clarity you need to manage your money like a pro. Plus, we'll cover a few useful tips and tricks to help you get the most out of your purchase. Before we get into the details, let me give you a quick overview of the tabs included in this spreadsheet. The first tab is the Instructions tab, your go-to guide for navigating this spreadsheet. If you're ever unsure about anything, this is the place to check first. It includes written instructions, a link to this video, and a link to my Etsy shop where you can contact our team if you need any help. Next is the Example tab. This is grayed out to give you a clear idea of how the spreadsheet works. It includes helpful tips in purple. You can just click on any of these cells for additional guidance. Then we have the Budget tab, where you'll track your income, expenses, bills, and balances. This is your primary day-to-day tab for budgeting. The Savings Tracker tab helps you to manage your financial goals, track progress, and organize your savings over time. And finally, the Debt Tracker tab is designed to help you stay on top of your debt payments, track your progress, and plan for debt payoff. Now, an important note before we start, the original tabs I've included are locked. This ensures the formulas and layout stay intact, so you won't accidentally overwrite or delete anything crucial. However, you can easily create your own editable versions. To do this, simply right-click on the tab, select Duplicate, and rename the new tab to suit your needs, whether that's for a specific month or paycheck period. Then click on the duplicated tab name and rename it to January Budget. From here, you'll have a fresh editable copy to work with, while keeping the original safe as a template. This same process works for the Savings Tracker and Debt Tracker tabs. By duplicating, you can create customized versions while keeping the integrity of the original tabs intact. Now, let's dive into the Budget tab, which is the heart of this spreadsheet. This is where you'll track your income, expenses, bills, and savings. Let me guide you through how it works step by step. Step 1. Changing the currency. Before we get started with entering any numbers, let's first set up the currency to match what you're using. This is really easy, I promise. Right now, the currency is set to the dollar symbol by default, but if you want to change that to your own currency, just double-click here on the dollar sign, hit backspace, and then type in the symbol or abbreviation for your currency. Once you've done that, your currency will update across the entire tab. Now that we've got the currency set up, let's talk about setting up your budget categories. This is where you'll break down all your income, expenses, savings, and debt payments. In this section, you can get really specific or keep it broad, whatever works for you. Under income, we might put salary and side hustle. For bills, I'm going to add rent, utilities, and internet. Then for savings, I'll add an emergency fund and a vacation fund. You get the idea. This is where you allocate your money into different categories to see where it's all going. Take your time to add all your subcategories here. Okay, now that our categories are set, let's start with the income section. This is where you'll enter how much you're expecting to earn. Let's say you expect to make $2,700 this month. You'll enter that in the budgeted income column. Check out the left to budget section at the top. This will automatically update as you enter your income. You can see how much money you have left to allocate to the rest of your categories. Now, what I recommend is using a zero-based budgeting method. This means you'll try to give every single dollar, or euro, or pound, whichever works for you, a job. You'll divide that $2,700 between your savings, bills, expenses, and debts. The goal is to make sure by the end you're not left with any unallocated money. But hey, if you want to leave a little bit for next month or just keep some extra for flexibility, that's totally okay too. Next up, let's talk about due dates. In this section, you can enter the due dates for each bill or debt. Just type in the day that your bill is due and make sure you do this for all your bills. Now, here's a helpful tip. If you've already entered your bills but realize they're not in chronological order, don't worry, you can easily sort them. Here's how. Click on the top bill field, hold down the Shift key of your keyboard, and then click on the bottom bill field. Now right-click and select Sort Range. Choose to sort by the due date column, and then click Sort. And voila! Your bills are now sorted by due date, so you can see at a glance when each payment is due. Now that we have our template set up, here's a quick tip. Duplicate your budget tab for each new month or paycheck period. This way, you don't have to re-enter everything from scratch. To do this, right-click again on the Budget tab and select Duplicate. Once you've done that, click on the little arrow on the tab and click Rename. For example, if you're setting up for September, just rename it September Budget. Once you've renamed it, don't forget to adjust your start and end dates. Just double-click on the date fields and update them to match the current month or paycheck period. Once you've got your budget set, it's time to track your actual spending. This is where the Left to Spend section comes in handy. Click on the little arrow and switch to this section, and now you'll see how much money you have left to spend across your categories. As the month goes on, all you need to do is enter your actual transactions. For example, if you've paid your rent or paid down a debt, just input those numbers directly into the fields under Actual for each subcategory. You'll see these numbers update right away. Now, for those everyday expenses that happen, like a coffee run or a quick grocery trip, we've got the spending log. Scroll down to this section and you can add each transaction as it happens. So, let's say you spent $10 on coffee and $30 on groceries. Just enter these amounts here and they'll automatically update in the actual section on the top for your expenses. And you'll notice that as you enter these transactions, the expense categories drop-down will update for you automatically based on the subcategories you entered earlier. So if you missed any subcategories, just add them up top and the drop-down will reflect those changes in the spending log. As you track your income and expenses, the charts and graphs will update automatically. This will give you a visual breakdown of how much of your money went to bills, expenses, savings, and debts. It's really helpful to see at a glance where your money is going and where you might want to make adjustments. These graphs will update as you enter more transactions, giving you a clear picture of your spending through the month. Here's a little bonus tip. If you find that your budget tab is too long and you want a more compact view, you can hide rows that you're not using. Just click on the first row you don't need, hold down Shift, and click on the last row you want to hide. Then right-click and select Hide Rows. This makes the tab much more compact and easier to navigate. Don't worry, these rows are still there if you need them later. Just click on the little arrow to unhide them. If you ever accidentally delete a formula in a colored field, don't panic. All you need to do is copy the formula from the Template tab and paste it back into the field you need it in. Let's say you accidentally deleted the formula in the Dining Out section. Simply go to the template, find the field, right-click and select Copy. Then go back to your Budget tab, right-click the field you need it for, and click Paste. Easy fix. Let's now take a look at the Savings Tracker tab. This tab helps you track different savings goals, whether it's a holiday, an emergency fund, or any other goals you have. The best part? It automatically updates your savings progress and shows you progress visually through graphs. Let me show you how it works. To begin, you'll want to set up your savings fund names. This could be things like holiday fund, emergency fund, or wedding fund. For each category, you'll enter the following details. Goal amount, how much you want to save in total, i.e. $1,000 for your holiday. Starting balance, that's how much you've already saved. So for example, you have a $200 starting balance. And the goal date, so that's the date that you want to reach your savings goal by. For example, December 31st. We'll do another example here. Let's say your emergency fund has a goal of $3,000. You've saved $500 so far and you want to have it saved by the end of the year. You'll enter these numbers here. As you go along, after each month or paycheck period, you'll track how much you've saved. This is where you'll use the Savings Transactions log at the bottom of the page. For example, if on August 31st you saved $200 for your emergency fund, you'll enter $200 into the log under Amount Saved and select the date as August 31st. Once you enter this amount, your total saved so far will automatically update and the graph showing your progress will update too. This way you can see how close you are to getting to your goal, and it makes it super easy to see how you're doing and stay motivated. Like before with the budget tab, if you're not using all your savings categories, you can make your view more compact by hiding rows that aren't relevant. Just select the rows you want to hide, right-click and choose Hide Rows. This will give you a cleaner view, but you can always unhide the rows if you need them later. Lastly, let's take a look at the Debt Tracker tab. This tab works similarly to the Savings Tracker tab, but it helps you keep track of your debt payoff goals. Whether you're paying off credit cards, student loans, or personal debts, this tool will help you stay on top of your payments and make sure you're on track to be debt-free. Start by setting up your debt categories. This could be things like student loan, credit card, or car loan. For each category, you'll enter the following details. Total debt amount, that's how much you owe, i.e. $5,000 for your credit card. Saved so far, that's how much you've already paid off. For example, $1,500 already paid off. And your goal payoff date, and that's when you would like to pay off the debt by. For example, June 2025. Let's take another example. Enter each of these debts in their respective fields. Now, just like with savings, each time you make a payment towards your debt, you'll enter the amount in the debt log at the bottom. For example, on September 1st, you paid $200 towards your student loan. Once you do that, your remaining balance at the top will automatically update, and the graph showing your progress will also update. Have any negative transactions, like interest charges or late fees, you can enter them in the log as well. For example, if you were charged $45 interest on your credit card, enter that as a negative transaction by typing minus 45 in the amount paid field. This will update your remaining balance to account for those extra charges. And just like with the savings tracker, if you don't need to see all of the rows, you can hide them for a cleaner view. Simply select the rows you don't need, right-click and choose Hide Rows. And that's it. Budgeting, saving, and paying off debt has never been easier. You'll have a clear picture of where your money is going and be able to track your goals effortlessly. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. If you're ready to take control of your finances and make this your best year yet, head over to our Etsy shop, BudgetBlissPrints, to grab your own copy of this helpful tool. Drop any questions or comments below. We love hearing from you. And of course, happy budgeting!